Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith, and as you can see, it's leftover night. And we're all trying to save a little bit of cash on our grocery bill, and sometimes you've just got to clean out the fridge. So what we're going to do today is a lovely tomato sauce with some leftover sausage, leftover crushed tomatoes, a few bits of leftover tomato, some cherry tomatoes that are getting kind of old in the fridge, and a couple of chunks of onion that have been in there a while. So it will be a dinner of pasta with a tomato sauce that includes some sausage. Before we get started, we'll talk about the pasta we will choose. So now you have to decide what pasta you're going to use for this. And it depends on what your sauce is going to be like. It's going to be thick and chunky, thin and runny, creamy, or somewhere in between. Two pastas that you're not going to want to use is something like the d'Italia, or it's also known as tubetti, or the orzo. These are both better for soups or other sorts of brothy type things. So then we go on to the larger ones. You can do any sort of long straight pasta like a linguine or a spaghetti or even a fettuccine. Or then we go into the tubular ones. You got a penne, a rigatoni. This is, I forget the name of this one, but it's basically a macaroni, just with an extra elbow, or a rigatoni. For what I'm making today with the sausage, and the sausage will be in slices, so it is going to be fairly chunky. This is not going to work, not well at least, because the sausage isn't going to go in the hole. Same with the penne, maybe a little better because it will get the sauce, and the chunks you can pick up with your fork. Rigatoni is good for lovely saucy things. And this one is really good for creamy sauces. So, which one are we going to choose? I normally go with a linguine, and I think that's what we'll do tonight. Okay, to start our leftover pasta sauce, I'm going to add some olive oil to a warm pan, and I have it on a lowish heat. I'm going to add my 1 stick of celery, half red onion, about 3 cloves of garlic, and I did find some green pepper, so that's about 1/4 of a green pepper. If you have some mushrooms, bring them to the party too. Unfortunately, I didn't have any mushrooms. Well, I did, but they were way too far gone. Now we're just going to saute our vegetables until they're soft, so that will take a few minutes. And now that we've got our vegetables a little softened and they have some color to them, we're going to add what's left of our crushed tomatoes. And some water, a little less than I added of tomatoes. So that was about 2/3 of a 400 milliliter can of crushed tomato, and about a half a can of water. Then we're going to add our chopped up tomato. Well, it was a tiny bit of tomato. And our really far gone grape tomatoes. I know I called them cherry tomatoes, but they're actually grape tomatoes. Just pick out ones that look really bad. Don't add them all if you don't want to. Some still look pretty good. Yeah. Then we need some seasoning. So, let's go with some rosemary, about half a teaspoon. Some thyme, a teaspoon, and some oregano, about a half teaspoon. Of course, we want to hit it with some salt, just a good pinch. And I have some onion powder. Come on. There we go. If you want to add garlic powder or whatever, go for it. This is up to you. Give it a good stir. Now, of course, the flavors have not developed yet, but we're going to give it a taste. And the tomato's very sharp, so I think we're going to add some sugar. So you don't want a lot of sugar, maybe a teaspoon at most. So that was about a half a teaspoon of sugar in there. But you add to taste, to your taste. After all, you're the one that's going to be eating it. Or if you have fussy people at home, get them to taste it. Everybody likes to be honored with the taste test. Yeah, much better. Okay. Now we're going to add our sausage pieces, chopped up. 2 sliced sausages. And I did have mild Italian sausage. But any sausage will do. I have done it with bratwurst. Hot Italian will work. Beef sausage. Even pork sausage. Whatever you got that you have left over, throw it in. Okay, time to put the lid on. Let it cook. We may have to add more water. The sauce is fairly thick, and it possibly will thicken even further. So we only need to cook it long enough to get the tomato sauce developed, and of course to get the tomatoes that we put in cooked. So this should take 15-20 minutes. You can let it go as long as you like. Just make sure you keep it topped up with water if necessary. But it won't take long. So fortunately, this is a dish that you can leave to cook as long as you need it to cook for. So you can start it early, But just make sure you check and add water if needed. And you do want to squash those little tomatoes, which is what I was just doing. So let me test the sauce again. It is lovely. I'm going to turn the heat down and just let it do its thing while I cook the pasta. Okay. When you've decided your pasta is done to the way you like it, and your tomato sauce is perfection, we will put our pasta into the tomato sauce. And reserve some of that pasta water. I do strain my pasta and then immediately put the strainer over the pot so that it can collect some of the pasta water, because if you need it, it is a wonderful way to thicken and flavor your pasta. So this is looking lovely. Let me get it served up and then it's dinner time. Okay, the last thing we want to do, if you happen to have some in your fridge, you want some Parmesan. Just grate it over the top. There we go. Okay, time to taste. So let's get a taste here. That is so good. Now, I have friends whose their whole family refuses to eat leftovers. They don't. Or at least they did some years ago. Don't sneer at leftovers. They can be quite delicious if you know what to do with them. And I, like many people, when I have leftover stuff, I search Google. What the heck do I do with this? So I hope this gives you an idea to deal with some of your leftovers. Now, cleaning out the fridge is never something we want to do. It's one of those chores that can be nasty. But if you do it often enough, you can actually get a meal out of the bits, as opposed to throwing a lot of stuff away. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you some ideas. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. Hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified when I put up a new video. I will see you again soon with a new video. Thank you so much for watching.